Hey guys, in this video we're going to do ratios and proportions. A proportion shows that two fractions or ratios are equal. So it's kind of like checking to see if they're equivalent fractions, okay? So let's look at this first one. Are these ratios equivalent? So we have 3 to 5 and 8 to 15. So for these ones, I can look at the factors and see if there's anything I can do to get from 5 to 15. Well, I know that I can times that by 3, but if I do 3 times 3, that would give me 9. So this is not proportional, okay? Because if you do whatever you do at the top, you got to do the bottom. For this one, it doesn't work. So for this next one, I can't multiply anything to get from 2 to 3, and I also can't multiply anything to get from 14 to 21. So I'm going to teach you another strategy to check it. So we're going to use this on all of the proportions for finding the missing ones as well. So it's multiply and then divide. So you're going to multiply two numbers, and because it's already filled in with all 4 parts, you could go either way. I'm going to choose the easier numbers. So 2 times 21, I just put a little multiplication sign, times 2 gives me 42. Then you divide by one of the other ones. In this case, I'm going to divide it by 3 because that's easier than dividing it by 14. Goes in 1 time with 1 left over, bring down your 12, and it goes in 4 times. So that equals 14. So yes, these are equivalent. So these are proportional. Again, for this one, you could have done 3 times 14 divided by 2 and gotten 21 as well. So when all 4 are already filled in, you just pick 2 to multiply diagonally and divide by one of the other ones. Check to see if there's an equivalent ratio like this multiplied by the same number first, but if not, you can always use this strategy. So for this one, you could have, there's 2 different ways, I'm going to show you both. You could have divided this by 5 and gotten 2. Realize you can't divide 13 by 5 to get 3. So that tells me it's not proportional. But I'm also going to go the other way just to practice. So 10 times 3 is 30. And then 30 divided by 2 gives me 15. So these are not proportional or not equivalent fractions because it's 13 and not 15. So now let's do some where we have to find a missing. On your homework and things, it may show you with a variable, which is just a letter representing a number. Like let's say this is X, okay? So sometimes the X is what you're finding. So you're going to use that cross multiply and divide strategy we showed you above for some of them. Also check to see if there is a number you can multiply both by. So for this one, 6 times 3 gives me 18. So 7 times 3 gives me 21. Remember, you're multiplying 3 over 3 equals 1 whole. So you're multiplying it by 1, so they're equivalent. So for this next one, to get from, actually, I'm going to let you do that one on your own. Go ahead and do it and then come back and check it. So to get from 7 to 14, you're going to divide 14 by 2 to get to 7. So notice I kind of went the other way because the missing one's on this side. So then 18 divided by 2 gives me 9. So the missing piece is 9. Go ahead and do the next 2 and then come back and we'll check it. So for this one, 5 times 3 gives me 15. 2 times 3 gives me 6. That one's pretty easy. So this one, again, we've got to go from 24 to 8. So we're going to divide by 3. And then 33 divided by 3 gives me 11. So for these ones, I can't go from 12 to 18 by just multiplying or dividing. So we've got to do that cross multiply and divide strategy. So you're going to, if this is our missing, you're going to multiply the 2 that are there and divide by the one across from the missing one. So again, your variable or your missing one may change, But always remember, multiply the 2 that are there and divide by the 1 across from the variable. So 10 times 18 gives me 180. Then you're going to do 180 divided by 12. Which gives me x equals 15. So our missing one would be 15. So for this next one, we're going to do 5 times 3 divided by 2. Go ahead and do it and then come back and check it. 5 times 3 gives me 15. 15 divided by 2. It can be a decimal, that's okay. Add your decimal and your 0. Oh, we had 1 left over. Bring it down. 7.5. I'm going to put it in the right spot. Okay, so notice we cross multiplied and divide. So we did 5 times 3 divided by 2. So I'm going to go ahead and erase these ones so I have enough room for the next part. So think about real quick, which ones are we going to multiply for this one, or which ones what are we going to divide by? So we should do 9 times 8 and then divided by 12. This one we should do 9 times 20 divided by 12. Then 3 times 14 divided by 4. Go ahead and do all 3 of those and then come back and check the video. So 8 times 9, 72 divided by 12. If you're not sure, think about, well, 12 times 5 is 60. So 12 times 6 gives me 72. Then for the next one, we're going to do 20 times 9. And then 180 divided by 12. Gives me 15. Then 14 times 3 gives me 42. 42 divided by 12. Sorry, 42 divided by 4. Goes in 0 times. Don't forget that 0. Add your decimal and your 0. Goes into there 20 times. So then we have 10 and 5/10. So now go ahead and make sure you have this all filled in. Take the picture and attach it, and then go ahead and choose some of your practice options.